GRE issue, the topic is, if a goal is worthy, then any means taken to attain it is justifiable. Your introduction will be something like this. The speaker's statement that any means taken to attain a worthy goal is justifiable is patently immoral and unacceptable, because if everyone were to follow this, there will be absolutely no respect for law and order in society. In other words, even if the goal is worthy, the means have to be equally worthy. Now, your introduction, you can conclude it here. You will write a couple of paragraphs in which you will talk about how a politician who would aspire to win an election must not indulge in unethical practices like fooling the voters or buying voters or booth capturing or gerrymandering, if you remember that. GERRYMANDER. Gerrymander means to alter the outlines of the district for electoral gains, creating a new district in order to win elections. So, you should write one paragraph about how a politician, any politician would want to win an election, but he must win within the parameters of the law, rigging the elections, and using government machinery like Indira Gandhi did in 1975. The Allahabad High Court struck down her election. The election was countermanded because she abused the government machinery, and she had to be actually jailed. But what she did was she imposed emergency, and for 18 months or more than that slightly, India was under emergency, and a spineless character, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, who was the president at that time, who was worse than Manmohan Singh, signed on the dotted line, and Indira Gandhi actually should have been in jail. She became the dictator of this country for 18 months. And the next thing that happened in 1977, the people kicked her out, and after the emergency was over, Congress party lost and Janata came to power, and Morarji Desai was our prime minister. But unfortunately, the Janata, they had too many internal bickerings, and finally it collapsed. The people brought her back because they didn't find another credible alternative. Well, there's a little bit of history for you, but then the point we are trying to make is a politician should not use unethical means. Then, second paragraph, you can talk about how in American history the Watergate scandal, which is a very infamous political scandal in American history. Richard Nixon finally gave an apology to the American nation. That speech is available on YouTube even now, where he apologized to the American nation by saying that he is not a crook. The name of the speech is "I am not a crook." The gist of the matter is, Richard Nixon, who belonged to the Republican Party, employed some burglars to bug the opposition party's headquarters, that is Democrat Party. The Democrat Party headquarters is in a building called Watergate Complex. So in this huge building, there are so many other offices, Watergate Complex. So the burglars went there and installed the microphones, the bugs. Those time they didn't have these secret cameras, they had only audio. But one of the bugs or something malfunctioned, so these fools went back to repair that, got caught and thrashed, and the truth came out that they were hired by the President of America. So when the investigation began, many other things started stumbling out. Like we say in Telugu, "Teegalagite donkanta kadlindi." So it came to light that Richard Nixon collected a lot of money, slush funds, SLUSHFUNDS, slush funds to win elections. So finally, Richard Nixon his name was tarnished. He could have been actually sent to jail and impeached, but he was not impeached. He gave an apology and left in disgrace. So you will write half a dozen paragraphs about how a student wanting to get a high score should not copy and cheat, otherwise he will face repercussions. In business, cheating the customers, multinational corporations these days are cheating us with all kinds of dangerous chemicals which are harmful to health. And so in India you can see people are willing to buy Ramdev Baba's products because they trust that man, not the multinational corporations which are playing with their health. So in the long run, businesses if you cheat the customer, fool the customer, in the long run it can be disastrous. Gaining profits is a worthy goal, but using methods which are unethical are definitely not justified. And then so on and so forth. You can go on giving examples from religion. Spreading your religion, talking about your religion, propagating the religion is all fine, but converting people through inducement, fear, false promises of healing, this is what the evangelists in our country do, these missionaries. They go about doing their monkey business, and we all are aware of that. So what is the net result of this kind of stupid activity? The conflict level in society increases, and definitely not. Then you are hurting the very fabric of society. And one paragraph where you will agree, that is, when all normal methods have been exhausted. Suppose you are dealing with a terrorist, and suppose there is a terrorist who has planted a bomb in Hyderabad, a city which has a population of how many? At least 150 lakhs. And suppose this fellow is a hard nut to crack, and suppose he has planted a huge bomb somewhere, and any amount of torture, that fellow is not cracking up. Do you think it's justified to now torture his children? Suppose he's got 5-year-old kids, 3 or 4 of them. Do you think it's justified? Now I leave it to your opinion. But then I would do that. I would torture, because if these kids are not tortured, that fellow may not crack, and then you will end up killing lakhs and lakhs of other children. Right? Think about this. So I just give you an example of a worthy goal which is saving the lives of 150 lakh people, and you are torturing a few kids. I think it's justified. So dealing with terrorism, when all normal methods have failed, that is why police also use what you call that encounter method to kill criminals who are hardcore recidivists, incorrigible criminals who cannot be rehabilitated. So the summary, the conclusion would be, all in normal circumstances, even if the goal is worthy, the method should be equally worthy and justified and morally and legally upright. Only in extreme circumstances, when the survival of the whole society, when the survival of society is at stake, when the risks are too great and normal methods have failed, then I think any method is justified.